On Friday, 5th of January 2024, this is Gttv News at 9 p.m. and I'm your presenter, Lamin Job. In the headlines, the leader of the opposition United Democratic Party, Lawyer Usainu Dabo, has spoken for the first time about Mahmoud Sabali's defection to the rival National People's ruling party. Mahmoud Sabali's sister, Ramus Sabali, followed him to the ruling National People's Party as the duo saw their back to the opposition United Democratic Party. The Gambia Transformative College Committee has presented proposals to the Ministry of Higher Education. Into sports, Gambian striker Ali Sow has expressed excitement to play for Gambia's senior team ahead of our AFCON tournament in Ivory Coast. UN has said that displaced Gazans are living in the open. China's BYD closer to taking Tesla's electric car top spot. Microsoft boss Brad Smith has changed tune after criticism of UK. South Korea's opposition leader has been stabbed in neck on a visit to Busan. Well, these are the main headlines. Now let's delve into the news in details after a quick commercial break. Welcome back, and now the news in details. The leader and Secretary General of the opposition United Democratic Party, Lawyer Usainu Dabo, has broken silence on Mahmoud Sabali's dramatic defection to the ruling National People's Party as his constitutional right to join a political party of his choice. Dabo made the remarks while speaking to Gttv at UDP's Gala Dinner and Awards Night held at the Gambia Tourism and Hospital School in Carnifing as the party turned 27. Here is an excerpt. Speaking exclusively to Gttv during United Democratic Party's 27th anniversary Gala Dinner and Awards Night, Lawyer Usainu Dabo said Mahmoud Sabali's defection to the ruling National People's Party is his constitutional rights, which UDP as a party wholeheartedly respects the latest decision to join the party of his choice.
ñu welcome ko su toogee ba gis ne daal néegi li ma gisoon ci UDP xëy na gisaat ma ko mu nga dem ci feneen loolu democratic right am la te ñu ko ñaanal lu mo ut ci feneen fi mu dem xëy na yàlla dimbale ko ci.
He urged UDP supporters to desist attacking Sabali for joining Barrow's party, adding that the latter was in a political party before coming to United Democratic Party and that he chose to cross-carpeted to a party of his choice. Reporting for Gttv News, I am Lamin Job. A Brikama area councillor's nominated councillor who was a member of the opposition United Democratic Party, Ramus Sabali, has switched allegiance to her former party, the ruling National People's Party. Ms. Sabali's cross-carpet followed that of his brother Mahmoud Sabali, who dramatically joined Barrow's party while serving as the campaign manager for the United Democratic Party. Our Aisha Tukoli reports.
Over the weekend, President Adama Barrow welcomed in the deflected United Democratic Party's Brikama Area Council's nominated councillor, Ramus Sabali, to the National People's Party in a spectacular welcome ceremony held at the presidency. The latter's return to Barrow's party followed that of his biological brother Mamadou Sabali, who surprised the nation after he joined a party he once strongly criticized as corrupt and incompetent. The event was witnessed by senior executive members of the NPP, cabinet ministers, family members, friends, and party supporters of the party. Known for her great leadership and influence, Ramus brought several other deflectors from the United Democratic Party, including Lamin John from the Youth Wing, Sayo Jambe from GMC Women Wing, Buba Jambe, UDP activist, Nana Aisatunjai, former UDP female coordinator, and Bai Malik Sise of UDP Diaspora chapter, and several others to the ruling party, in which they all commit to support President Barrow and his agenda for the development of the country. Addressing the gathering, Ramus Sabali thanked the president and the members of the NPP for welcoming her with open arms and pledged to promote, support, and represent President Barrow and the NPP as the only NPP councillor at the council, as she clears rumors of returning her seat as a UDP councillor.
ñin sirango UDP len samba je
UDP mo fa yobu
bari mbe sidi West Coast musol le
way jigeni West Coast ta fa togal
anu West Coast musol be janne
te West Coast jigeni yang fi
gamen foy marché auto
limane ne wasi marché bi
buur moo ëppa doole
ko man sale sembo warta
andu nimbe do kuwala
te suñu liggéey
nsalon ko
ñu xamne
nangin sirango
suma togu bi
UDP len nati
UDP mo ngay
bari mbe sidi West Coast musol
way
bele
jigeni West Coast ta fa togal
President Barrow
President Barrow
man na sirango sayndi
ma del suma togu bi
ma sayndi
delo ma suma togu
nin
bi
sirango nata UDP
dama and ak togu bi NPP
ay Sénéa
mu set ñep
na sirango
suma togu bi
as women wing
nin
sirango nata MPP
togu bi dama and ak mo be NPP
ay Sénéa
na leer
media yata
media jël lolu
katu challenges ka warale
no challenges da fay bari
bari bi
way tay
mu mansalet
tay bour la
ndu mu mansa bali musole.
She further praised President Barrow for his tolerance and pledged to bring more people from UDP to the national ruling party. The national women mobilizer of NPP, Maimuna Balde, thanked the Sabalis for taking a bold decision of joining the NPP and urged them to use their influence and bring more people into the party for peace, progress and development.
Ay school ol men belo
école yim sampa
ate bondi la jaay sama manka man
bu len mëna jëlé fi yobu len manka man
aya ken telle
ñun Gambia la ko defal
woto al nga muta president Adam Barrow
kon nañ ko jappalé président Adama Barrow
president Adam Barrow nata ka molle makoy
président Barrow dafa ñëw pour dimbalé nit ñi
woto alintel fana nga makoy
bo ñi nit nañ ko jappalé
surtout musolu
surtout ñun jigéen yi
musolu
mëna jigéen yi
surtout tel national executive
mëna
members
surtout national executive bi
nga luntangol lesot
am nañ ay gan yu magga
ada mambande
3 cabinet ministers, namely Rahi John Manjang, Musa Drame, and Lamin Queen Jambe, all welcomed the Sabalis into the national ruling party, with the information minister describing them vibrant politicians with huge influences, and thereby said NPP is the party for peace and progress, and now attain what he called a political dominance, and called on party militants to maintain peace and unity within the party.
Momo ya lon ne ko
mune ku nekk xam na ne
Momadou Sabali
ne Modou Sabali
Ramou Sabali fire brand politician ol le moti
fire brand politician le
ini be ngani ya kili wo
so remboke ben eno
ini mantara ngani ya kili wo
ben eno
ali be parti kili wo
remboke ben parti
ali manta parti kili wo
ben parti
ya lon ne ñul mu minti politique
xam
ko
nga ñi lan lañ mum ci politique
yo woto o kamala
mo ci kaw lolu
be kafula NPP bela
dañ bokk ak NPP yépp
ka fo ñuliye welcome to the party of progress
len wone dal len ci parti bu am yokkute
welcome to the leadership of peace
mu ne ngañ dal len ci njité bu and ak jamm
anin démocratie momo hanite Gambia bi
mu ne képp ku nekk so nekkul
ya ne ko NPP man ñoo sama ñoo so say côté kede
NPP amul ñokkato ndor légui de
NPP the required political dominance min sulata la say ngawale soto
li nga xam ne mooy wane ne léegi ñoom ñoo munti politique léegi loolu lañ am léegi.
For his part, the Secretary General and party leader, President Adam Barrow, also welcomed the Sabalis to the party and commended their elder sister Binta Sabali for her patience, expressed delight for seeing the siblings reconcile. He further added that their coming to the party will add value, as the NPP is a party for every Gambian. He therefore described Mamadou Sabali as a man with great potential, and his move to the NPP will add so much value for the party.
ndefamo mealon ko ndelam NPP ñaaton ko
man mi nga am may njiti NPP
aketañe big relief leti bi dunu baawale botan
dafa seddal suma bopp bi mu melni en bu magga tegi suma bopp bi
mo men mu baakilin faakilin wol
ay ñi nga xam ne ñoo bokk ndey ak baay
wol ñanta kala kuukilin wol ti
dañ ko wara bokk bu nekk benn mbir
Sabali mbe welcome la baake
bo Sabali ñu lay dalal bu baax baax
mo wol si sosoro be keno
nit ñi mëna wo di façon wedd bu nekk
bari be sonna ñi ne la ka way ka politique ko kel
waaye di nangu ni ne wo politique rek ne politique
mo bebe sonna wala le
ñepp nañ nangu loolu
oto mbafala NPP national executive
ben NPP national executive
mo bu ka do ko keno nata jorangote bulu
kenn du mëna liggéey su amul jumtuwaay
andum bi
bu dee tey nag
ale mole sodo mi ala nata kafal ma
ñoom am nañ kam dafa ñëw yokku si yéen
aba value le kafala NPP
te
ma
dafa yokkal value NPP rek
bari ate kelale liability ti
waaye du nekkal benn liabilité ku
ko
am
lafla be kafu ñola
bon ñu bokk boole suñu
ale
am
ke
yëpp
bakilim
ñu
fakilim
bokk ndey ak baay
ale do ko ke
ngeen liggéey
pour ñim banko bi ta ñaar
pour réew mi ni mooy yokkoo.
Their move to the ruling National People's Party from the United Democratic Party as the main opposition party sends a shockwave to many Gambians, both home and abroad, within the political spectrum of the country, as Mamadou Sabally and Ramu Sabally were both strong critics of the ruling party and plays key important roles in the development process of their former party. Aisha Tukoli for Gambian Talents TV News.
On Wednesday, 3rd January 2023, the Gambia College Transformative Committee presented their proposals to the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology with the aim to transform the Gambia College to a university education faculty at a workshop held at a hotel in Kololi. Well, that reports from Hapsatul lead us to our first commercial break, and when we come back, we delve into sports. Welcome back and to sports now. Gambian striker Ali Sow has expressed joy for making it into the country's senior team ahead of Continental Championship in Ivory Coast. The 29-year-old striker said playing for his country of birth is an excitement and joy, and promised to do his best for the country throughout the AFCON tournament.
I'm here to do more, personally as well. First of all, I'll say thank you to whoever was outside there giving his or her voice for me, and I'm really happy. And now I'm here to give my part and to give something back to the nation, and especially to those people that have been there behind me. And I don't have anything to do. I have the chance to prove it on the training ground, and then we will try to do our best during the games as well.
That makes the local news stories. Let's now look at news around the world. UN Relief Agency for Palestinian Refugees, Juliet Achuma, has said that many people are living in the open in the parks. According to the UN's humanitarian office, at least 100,000 people have fled to Rafah, which borders Egypt in Gaza South, in recent days. Let's take a look. Ms. Tuma said the UN was being authorized to bring in limited assistance, but Gaza's humanitarian needs, she said, have massively grown. She said UNRWA continue to face restrictions to access areas in the Gaza Strip where we should access. Israel has said it is not limiting aid, and the problem is with its distribution. It launched its offensive in Gaza after Hamas' deadly 7 October attack, in which 1,200 people were killed and a further 240 taken hostage. More than 21,672 people have been killed in Gaza since that date, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. It says a further 56,165 Palestinians have been injured. Access to humanitarian aid in the 41-kilometer long and 10-kilometer wide enclave have been tightly controlled since the start of the war. At the start of its military campaign, Israeli forces focused on Gaza's north. But more recently, they have been pounding Khan Yunis in southern Gaza, which they see as a stronghold for Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in a TV address on Saturday evening that Israel was fighting on all fronts. He echoed remarks by the Chief of General Staff saying the war would go on for many months until Israel achieved the release of all our hostages and the dismantlement of Hamas. Speaking from Rafah, UNRWA's Gaza's director Tom White told the BBC there were well over 1 million people seeking safety in the city. Mr. White said that for hundreds of thousands of people seeking safety in Rafah, there are no spots left in shelters, which include UNRWA schools and other municipal facilities. He echoed comments made by Ms. Tuma explaining that hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people are now sleeping in the open under flimsy pieces of plastic as a result of the overcrowding. In its latest report, UNRWA said up to 1.9 million people have been displaced across the Gaza Strip since the start of the war. According to OCHA, the most recent wave of displacement into Rafah is due to intense fighting in Khan Yunis and other parts of the territory. Residents in Khan Yunis have reported intense gun battles between Israeli troops and Hamas fighters. Elsewhere in Gaza on Saturday, fighting was also reported in the Nuseirat refugee camp, Maghazi, and in Al-Bridge. In a statement on X, the Israel Defense Forces IDF Arabic language spokesman warned that the main north-south road in Gaza, the Salah al-Din, was a battlefield and dangerous to reach. Meanwhile, a third UN body, the World Health Organization, has again warned of a spike in the spread of infectious diseases across Gaza displaced community. WHO chief Dr. Tedros Adhanom said there had been a rise in the number of diseases across Gaza between mid-October and mid-December. He said that across UN shelters, there had been some 136,400 cases of diarrhea, 55,400 cases of lice and scabies, and 126 cases of meningitis. Reporting for Gttv News, I am Mudlamin Job. Chinese company BYD has moved a step closer to toppling Elon Musk's Tesla as the world's biggest selling manufacturer of electric vehicles. The firm said on Monday it had sold a record of 526,000 battery-only vehicles in the last 3 months of 2023. That was helped by a more than 70% surge in sales in December. Hapsatuba reports again.
US-based Tesla is scheduled to release its latest quarterly vehicle production and delivery figures before Wall Street opens on Tuesday for the year as a whole. Shenzhen-based BYD said it had sold more than 3 million so-called new energy vehicles, which includes battery vehicles and hybrids. Almost 1.6 million of its total sales were battery vehicles, the firm said. Industry analysts have forecast that Tesla sold around 483,000 electric vehicles in the last 3 months of 2023 and 1.82 million for the year as a whole. Last January, Mr. Musk said that Tesla had the potential to achieve 2 million deliveries in 2023, but had since warned that higher borrowing costs were putting pressure on demand for his company's cars. BYD's chief executive Wang Chayunfa co-founded BYD with his cousin in Shenzhen in 1995. The company made a name for itself as a manufacturer of rechargeable batteries used in smartphones, laptops, and other electronics that competed with pricier Japanese imports. It started selling its shares on the stock market in 2002 and diversified by possessing a struggling state-owned car manufacturer, Incheon Automobile Company. Since 2008, BYD has counted veteran U.S. investor Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway as a shareholder. Analysts said BYD owes its growth to its original business. They are among the most expensive parts of an EV, and making them in-house saves BYD a lot of money. Many of BYD's competitors rely on third-party manufacturers for batteries. Reporting for Gambian Talent TV News, I am Hapsat.
Microsoft President Brad Smith has rolled back on criticism he made last year that the UK was bad for business. Smith made the comments after the competition watchdog initially blocked the tech giant's planned takeover of the gaming giant Activision Blizzard. Lamin MCC reports.
Brad Smith said people's confidence in the UK had been severely shaken, but he has now said the Competition and Markets Authority, which went on to approve the deal, was tough and fair. He told the BBC's Today program that it pushed Microsoft to change the acquisition that they had proposed for Activision Blizzard to spin out certain rights that the CMA was concerned about with respect to cloud gaming. In April last year, the CMA blocked Microsoft's acquisition of Activision over concerns it would reduce innovation and mean less choice for consumers in the fast-growing cloud gaming business. Microsoft owns the Xbox gaming console, with Activision Blizzard produces games including the popular Call of Duty series at the time of the original rejection. Mr. Smith also suggested it made the European Union a more attractive place to do business. It was a blow for the UK government, which wants the country to become a tech powerhouse. The regulator gave the green light in October after Microsoft restructured its offer. Mr. Smith told the BBC that he thinks the CMA vindicated its position but still create a pragmatic path forward for innovation and investment. However, the boss of the competition watchdog, Sarah Cadell, criticized Microsoft for its conduct, stating in October, businesses and their advisors should be in no doubt that the tactics employed by Microsoft are no way to engage the CMA. She said Microsoft and the chance to restructure during their initial investigation, but instead continued to insist on a package of measures that they told them simply wouldn't work. Dragging out proceedings in this way only wastes time and money. Microsoft's plan to buy Activision Blizzard, the largest takeover in the history of the gaming industry, was originally announced in January last year. However, it proved controversial and received a mixed response from regulators around the world. Microsoft submitted a restructured deal for the competition watchdog to review in August 2023. Under the new offer, Microsoft agreed to transfer the rights to stream Activision games from the clouds of Ubisoft, the French video game publisher, for 15 years. Activision Blizzard makes the hugely popular Call of Duty series of games. It means gamers who prefer rival console other than Microsoft's Xbox, such as Sony's PlayStation, can still stream games such as Call of Duty, Overwatch, and World of Warcraft from the cloud. In this interview with the BBC, Mr. Smith also highlighted Microsoft's $2.5 billion commitment to invest in AI infrastructure in the UK over the next 3 years, and the UK government's critical AI safety summit held in November, which he attended. Reporting for Gttv News, I am Lamin Msisi.
Devastating as South Korea's opposition leader Lee Jong-un was stabbed in the neck during a visit to the city of Busan. Mr. Lee, who narrowly lost the 2022 presidential elections, sustained a 1 centimeter leg lesion on the left side of his neck. Report said he was airlifted to the hospital. The doctor said the wound is not the life-threatening. The 63-year-old man who attacked him said he had intended to kill Mr. Lee. Yonhap News Agency reported the motive for the attack is unclear. Factual reports.
The Brazil daytime attack shocked the nation and prompted condemnation from political parties and politicians, including current President Yoon Suk-yeol. Mr. Lee, who led the Democratic Party of Korea, was addressing reporters at a news conference during a visit to a construction site in the port of Busan on Tuesday morning when the attacker reportedly approached him to ask for an autograph. He then lunged forward to stab the politician with an 18-centimeter, 7-inch knife, which the attacker said he bought online, police said at a media briefing. The attacker was immediately overpowered and arrested. Prosecutors plan to bring attempted murder charges against the man, Yonhap said. Videos posted on social media saw Mr. Lee first collapsing into the crowd and then onto the ground, while several people tried to restrain the attack. Photographs after the incident showed Mr. Lee lying on the ground with his eyes closed as someone presses a handkerchief to the side of his neck. A spokesman for Mr. Lee's party said medical staff suspected an injury to his jugular vein, which carries blood from the head to the heart. Mr. Lee would have to undergo surgery quickly as they were concerned about further bleeding, the spokesman Kyeon Chil-sung said. He added that they saw the attack as a clear act of democracy destruction, while Mr. Young's office quoted the president as saying South Korea should not tolerate such acts of violence under any circumstance. Mr. Lee, 59, currently holds a seat in Incheon in South Korea's legislature. He narrowly lost the 2022 presidential elections by a mere 0.73% difference in vote. to Mr. Yoon, making it the closest presidential race in South Korean history. He is widely expected to stand in the 2027 presidential elections. Mr. Lee, a former civil rights attorney who grew up in poverty and worked in factories as a child, said his working-class roots spurred him to want to fight inequality. His improvised upbringing stands in contrast with most other South Korean parliamentarians, who local media report has an average net worth of 2.3 billion won, 1.8 million US dollars, 1.4 million euro. Since losing the vote in 2022, Mr. Lee has been indicted on corruption and breach of trust charges, with prosecutors accusing him of allowing private developers to profit illegally from a property project while he was mayor of Songnam, a city of 1 million people to the south of Seoul. Mr. Lee has denied those charges, calling them politically motivated. In September, a court dismissed a request from the prosecutor for him to be held in custody while he awaited trial. Prosecutors are still investigating him on a number of other cases linked to corruption while he was in office. The dismissals came 3 weeks after Mr. Lee staged a 19-day hunger strike to protest at Mr. Young's foreign and domestic policies, ending with Mr. Lee requiring hospital treatment. South Korea's opposition leader, Lee Jae-yong, addressing reporters in Busan shortly before he was stabbed. South Korea's crime rate is generally low, although the country saw a rise in mass stabbing attacks last year. The country has strict regulations around possession of guns and other weapons, and most public figures are not usually under tight security protection. There have been a number of previous cases of South Korean politicians being physically attacked with weapons. In March 2022, Mr. Lee's predecessor as Democratic Party leader, Song Yong-jil, was attacked with a blunt object while campaigning for Mr. Lee. He sustained a laceration. In 2006, Conservative Party leader Park Geun-hye, who later became president, was attacked with a knife which left a scar on her face. In 1979, her father Park Yong-hye, who was president for 16 years, was shot and killed by a spy chief at a private dinner. Fatou Chor, reporting for Gttv News.
Well, that ends this news bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, here are the top stories once again. Mahmoud Sabali's sister Ramu Sabali followed him to the ruling National People's Party as the duo saw their back to the opposition United Democratic Party. The leader of the opposition United Democratic Party, lawyer Usainu Dabo, has spoken for the first time about Mahmoud Sabali's defection to the rival National People's Party. The Gambia College Transformative Committee has presented proposal to the Ministry of Higher Education. Gambian striker Ali Sow expressed excitement to play for Gambia's senior team ahead of our AFCON tournament in Ivory Coast. UN has said that displaced Gazans living in the open. China's BYD is closer to taking Tesla's electric car top spot. Microsoft boss Brad Smith has changed tune after criticism of the UK. Meanwhile, South Korea's opposition leader has been stabbed in the neck on a visit to Busan. Well, that's all we got for you in our tonight's news bulletin. On behalf of the production team, I was your presenter, Modlamin Job. Do stay tuned to watch the rest of our interesting programs during the weekend. Bye-bye and have a blissful weekend.